All right, good morning. We got 3.4, find slopes. Find and use slopes of lines. The objective, you will find and compare slopes of lines. Okay, here's what's important on this page. Slope is rise over run. So when you have a line, it's the change of y, that goes on top. So from this point to this part, how far up and down you go versus how far over you have to go to get there. So in your notes, what would be important to put would be m equals rise over run, so that right there. And then right below that, you'd want to put m equals, and then we have this formula here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. It's also important to know that negative slopes go down from left to right. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting this whole thing in there, but it's something you should remember from last year. Negative slopes fall from left to right. Positive slopes rises from left to right. A slope of 0 is a horizontal line. And an undefined slope is a vertical line. Now, you're more than welcome to put this in your notes. It's just, it'd be a bit of writing. So I'll leave that up to you. Okay, and here's what it would look like. So on your homework, they actually give you some points here. You might have to find them on your own, but let's first just find the slope of line A, which is the blue line on here. All right, so let's pick out 2 points, like 6, 4 and 8, 2. So those two right there. This blue line, and I'll get rid of that. There we go. Okay, now it's blue again. Perfect. So what I want to find the slope of is 6, 4 and 8, 2. Now there's a faster way. I'll show you how to do it if you have the picture available. But if you don't have the picture available, here's what you would do. First, you would identify what your x and y is in your coordinates. So this is your x, this is your y, this is your x, this is your y. Since this is your first coordinate, it's x sub 1 and y sub 1. This is your second coordinates. This is x sub 2 and y sub 2. We're going to be following the formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so since we're going to be following that format, I'll have a skeleton of it with open numbers. Now remember, the y's are always on top, so I'm going to put 2. I already have the subtraction sign ready to go in there, so I don't have to worry about it. And then the 4 would go right there. Your x's. The 8 would go here. I already have the subtraction symbol in there. And then I got the 6 right there. Okay, so we're going to be taking 2 subtract 4. That would give me negative 2 over 8 subtract 6, which would be 2. Final answer for this one would be negative 1. Okay. And it'd be the same thing if I'd find the slope of the green line or the red line. I mean, there'd be different answers, but the format is the same. You write down the 2 coordinates, use the slope formula, and then you find out what the slope is. Oh, here's another thing. Do you guys notice that the answer for this blue line is negative 1? The slope is negative 1. Notice how it's going down. It's negative. You can anticipate that the green line, you're going to have a positive slope. The green line here is horizontal. This one here, that has a slope of 0. And this red line is vertical, so that has a slope that is undefined. Okay, so parallel and perpendicular lines. Here's what's important to know. Parallel lines have the exact same slope. So let's say that your m is 3. A line that has a parallel slope would also be 3. This is of everything on the board here. That's what I would put into your notes right here. Give it a heading of parallel. Parallel slopes are the same versus perpendicular slopes. So let's say your starting slope is 3. Your perpendicular slope would be, you'd want to write down the opposite reciprocal. The opposite is switching it from a negative to a positive or vice versa, and reciprocal is flipping it. Your answer for a perpendicular slope would be negative 1/3. I could throw another example at you. Let's say your starting slope would be 1/4. A perpendicular slope to 1/4 would be -4. Not only do you switch the sign, but you also flip it upside down. If you flip 1/4, it'd be the same thing as 4/1. Leave the 1 off. All right. And this is just practicing finding slopes. Are they parallel? Are they perpendicular? Well, a lot of it you can just look by the picture, but what if you didn't have a picture? Here's what you would do. So let's say we're going to find the slope of -2, 4. And the second coordinate would be -3, 0. Here's what you'd be looking for. We'd want to make a skeleton of the slope formula where you're taking y2 minus y1. I'll start labeling like crazy here. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Be careful with how you plug them in so you don't pay close attention to detail. The -3 went right there. The -2 went right there. But I already put from the formula that I have a negative right there. Hopefully you're noticing the 2 negatives in a row on the bottom here. That'll turn into a positive eventually. So on the top we got -4. Since we have 2 negatives, that changes to a positive. I'm taking -3 plus 2. -3 plus 2 is -1. Dividing -4 by -1, 2 negatives equal +4. All right, so then I would compare that to the red line, and then I'd compare that to the green line. If I'm getting the same number twice, like a slope of 4, I know they're parallel. Perpendicular would be as if I'd have -1/4. That'd be a perpendicular slope. All right, let's do one more here. Let's check the red one out, and maybe we get the same slope. So 4, 5, and 3, 1. I'll have to erase this here to make some room. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. The y is going top, 1 and 5. X is going bottom, 3, 4. 1 minus 5 is -4. 3 minus 4 is -1. You also get a slope of 4. Okay, so I remember the blue line, we also got a slope of 4. So the statement you can make is the blue line and the red line are parallel to each other. I believe the green line ends up being a different other than 4. Now, there is a shortcut way, and I can show you that right now. If you are given the diagram, it is rise over run, so you just count up. So I'm trying to get you to look right there where it says 5, -2. Right there. Okay, so if you go straight up to the second die, be up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1. The slope is 5 over 1, and that's your final answer. It's a lot quicker. It's just you don't always get that diagram, so you can do that quickly. The blue line and red line are parallel. The green line is not. All right, and this would be the last one here for your notes. So we're supposed to, make a line that passes through 3, 0 and 7, 6. So let's get that going. To the right 3, up and down 0, got the first one. And then 7, 6, over 7, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay. We'll make that straight line, or as straight as we can make it. That's not good, but it'll work. Okay. Now we want perpendicular through the point 2,5. The point 2,5 is right there. Perpendicular means we want to change the slope. We want to take the slope, flip it upside down, and change the sign. Well, using the same strategy I did on the other problem, let's count the slope. Let's count rise over run. From this dot to this dot, we'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1, 2, 3, 4. The slope is up 6 over 4. Now that's my current slope, right? My perpendicular slope would be to flip that upside down and change the sign. Now if you want to reduce down, you could. That's the same thing as 3 over 2. Make it a little easier. So flip it around. You'd have 2 on top, 3 on bottom, and switch the sign to a negative. So let's go to that green dot and make a perpendicular line through the point 2, 5. So I'm putting my pencil or my pen here on the point 2, comma 5. That's where I'm starting. And since it's rise over run, negative 2 goes down 2 over 3. Got the first one. I was hoping to change color on that. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. I'll try it again. Down 2 over 1, 2, 3. There we go, right there. Down 2 over 3. Connect those dots, and that would be a perpendicular slope through the point 2, 5. And that's the line they wanted. All right, and these other two are not as near as important as the other ones, so I'm going to skip those two. If you have questions, rewatch the video, come in early, get some help, but that should be everything. Good luck and have a great day.